Thanks for taking the time to watch this. I'm actually sitting on my counter in my kitchen because my little girls are sleeping and I do not want to risk waking them. And pretty much this is the farthest thing away from their room. So I'm coming to you straight from the kitchen counter with scratches from Bella because I have not clipped her nails recently. So she decided to scratch me as I put her down. Anyhow, I'm coming on behalf of sharing a little bit about a new journey I began with Arbonne. And I'm not sure if you have ever heard of Arbonne, but if you were like me and have had people maybe mention it to you, you might have like politely declined, or maybe you have gone to a party. I know for me, I continually just push it aside and kind of put it up in a cloud. Didn't really think about it because I was just automatically assumed it wasn't for me. I didn't know what it stood for or what it really was. And so naively, I just kept, declining. And it wasn't until I met my friend Kim and I began to see her life and the fruit of it, how she fed her family healthy food. She tried to live an active lifestyle, and she was able to stay home with her children, and she was able to provide nice things for them. And her husband, it freed him up to finish off his schooling because of the way that she worked, yet she wasn't stressed or overwhelmed or overworked. And so I'm like, Kim, I don't know what she does. I mean, I knew she did Arbonne, but at the same time, I really didn't know what it was. I was like, they're selling something secret, illegal. No, I'm just kidding. But I was really intrigued by her life, and the challenge itself motivated me to figure out what it was. And so, although she never invited me to a party because she never really even mentioned it to me, I invited myself to one of her parties. And so I said, hey, Kim, can I come to one of your parties? Because I'm just kind of curious to see what you do. And sure enough, she was like, oh yeah, I have one, next week on Tuesday. So I went, and it was a spa night. So I got to soak my feet and do a facial, and let's be real, it was a spa night. So at the end of a long day, who wouldn't want that, especially when you're a mom of young children? And just the time to sit was really, really nice. But not only that, I got to take time to wash my face and put my feet in something that wasn't standing water in a shower or a bathtub. So yeah, that was nice. But although I was so relaxed, the products were just wonderful, and I'm like, this is really cool, or maybe I just need to take time to do this. And as she began to explain more and more about it, I'm like, wait a second, this is what I'm trying to incorporate with our family's life. I like to have pure products without chemicals and things that can be harsh or cause rashes or be irritating for our skin. I know I definitely went through that human science experiment face or thing on my face when I was in junior high and high school, trying to figure out what I should do for it. And I just know how botanically based things are. I mean, God gave us everything we need. We just need to be wise on how we apply and use them, and it's a lot safer than chemicals that we can so often put on ourselves. And so that was so intriguing to me. But what immediately was oh my goodness, it kind of left me in awe, was the fact that they had a whole nutrition line, vegan, botanically based, protein powders. They had fiber, daily greens, all of these things that were natural, no fillers, no additives, no soy, no gluten. They were just clean, so clean. And it was what we, tried to do by taking our probiotics and prebiotics and just these things that made sense to me already. So it wasn't an eye-opener as far as what they were, as much as whoa, this is made so much, this is made so easy, and the prices that you can get them for, that they're grouping them together for is incredible. And so it just made sense for me, like, to look more into it. And as much as I love the products, and I was like, I really would like to start incorporating this for my family because it's so simple and easy. When Kim began the party, she said, yeah, and if you just did what I did about 6 to 8 times a month here, you know, you like host a party, or you can do a Facebook Live, or, you know, you can get creative with it. But if you just share this with people, this hope, this story, these great things, then by the end of the year, you could be making about $5,000, and soon after be on your way to earning the company car. Most people do it in about 1 to 2 years. And I was like, oh my goodness, like, I knew it was more than I was making doing weddings and having the stress of that with the busyness of Kyle's schedule and the inconsistency with the Army and his job as a pastor on campus. There was just a lot of moving parts, and so for me to have a set schedule was really difficult. But to be able to incorporate this just in the nooks and crannies of my life, I was like, this just makes sense. Like, it's already how we're trying to eat, already what I enjoy, and I can do it and share it and just love it and give hope to people who might have been in similar situations like us, just looking for a little extra money here or there. But ultimately, like, my prayer and goal by the end of the year is for it to be supplemental. So yeah, Kyle can go back to school full time if that's what we feel the Lord's leading him to do, or, you know, eventually for a church plant or something like that. And that's always been our prayer, is that we would have a river big enough for other people to fish out of. And so in choosing Arbonne, that's truly what it does. It tongue-tied. It not only provides for your needs, but the way that they have set it up, it is abundant and beyond that if you're just consistent with it. And I've just been so impressed by the caliber of people that have gone before that are my, you know, examples in this. Doctors, lawyers, pediatricians, people who had their own design firms, and they were like, you know what, the stress and the way that took me away from my family is just not worth it. And not only do I get to, you know, whether stay home with my children or just work less hours, like, I mean, each of us have different life situations and reasons, but the way that it just made sense for them to, you know, to take a step back, really, but gain so much more. And so truly that has just been the start of the journey, or this has been the start of the journey for me. And like I said, I started in November of last year, so I've only been at it for a couple months, but I've already been able to see, like, other people, like, given hope in their life situations, and, you know, taking a hold of, like, what it really has to offer. And these European products that are so clean make it easy. And I just want to leave with one verse that, like, always resonates in my mind when I'm, you know, either sharing about the business side of Arbonne or even the products. I remember studying Proverbs 31 when I was at Bible college, and thinking about the verse that says, she considers a field and buys it, and from her profits she plants a vineyard. And I never knew how that, like, translated into today's culture, you know. How can I buy a field? And maybe being in Virginia, it became a little more real than California. But, like, how can I be so profitable that, like, I can plant vineyards and other things that other people can be blessed by simply just a decision that I made, or a work choice I made. That was, like, my desire, but I just didn't know how. And then when this came across my lap, I was like, this is it. Like, this is what the Lord has given me. Because truly, like, it's something that it builds itself. And so it's so sweet to see this avenue and this thing that, like, I truly have been able to consider what was before me, and the Lord has already began to double and multiply it. And so I just wanted to share it because it's been hope for us, and given us a means to dream big, and it's exciting to share. So yeah.